Hi, I'm Rita. Welcome back to my booktube channel, Life Worth Reading. It is time for another Tarot Picks My TBR. This time we're doing the TBR for February. It literally starts tomorrow and I am just gathering up this TBR. We have a lot to cover in this video, so without further ado, let's just get started. And let's get started with last month's TBR wrap-up. So let's talk about which one of the books I chose for my January TBR and which ones I finished to see if there are any punishments that need to be applied for this month's TBR. So from last month's TBR, I pulled The Princess of Wands first, which was to read a new release, and I picked Within These Wicked Walls by Lauren Blackwood, which I did finish. Then I picked The Four of Wands, which was a diversity rep book, and I picked Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, which I also finished. Then I picked The Sun, which was to read a really popular hyped up book, and I picked obviously The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood, and I did read it. Then I pulled The Nine of Pentacles, which was to read a book in a genre that I don't usually read, and for that one I picked The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Soraya Cordova, and I did read it. And finally I had to read a book set in a different country because I picked The World card, and for this one I picked The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Rofi. And listen, the month is not over yet. Today's the final day of the month, and I am still in the process of reading this book because I originally picked up the audiobook, but I didn't really vibe with it, and so I am now looking for other ways to read this book. So I really don't count this one as a failure because I am in the process of reading it, so it'll be like more of a carryover. So overall, I did read all the books that I intended to read, or I am still reading that book. And so I don't think that I will apply any punishments for February, which suits me very well because I have so many books to read next month. It's actually very overwhelming. Okay, so now that we've covered my January TBR, I also wanted to talk about 3 books that I'm going to be reading in February, no matter what cards I pull this month. And the first one that I'm going to be reading or rereading is Butter Honey Pig Bread by Francesca Chiuasi. I am rereading this for the 20-something book club hosted by Mafalda and Kasey. I'm going to leave all the links for their channels and their book club in the description below, so make sure to check it out. And this is their February pick. This is my favorite book of 2021, and I won this in their giveaway, and I'm just so happy to have a physical copy to reread and annotate and all of that. So make sure that if you want to participate in this month's book club, read this book. You will not regret it, and then come to the live show and watch them talk about it. It's going to be so much fun, and I hope that you all join. Then I have 2 buddy reads planned for February. The first one is with Tara over from the Garden of Tara, and we're going to buddy read A Reaper at the Gates, which is the 3rd book in the Number in the Ashes quartet by Sabbath Tahir. Famously, I did not like A Torch Against the Night, which is the 2nd book, and Tara didn't really love it either, so we're going to try and finish the series together, so hopefully that'll be more fun. And yeah, we're going to be reading the 3rd one in February, and then I also have planned to read The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno Garcia with Jess over from Verity Books. I don't know much about that book, but I am excited to read it because I do enjoy Sylvia Moreno Garcia's writing, and I just love buddy reads overall, so I'm very excited for these books. And these are the 3 books that are going to be in my TBR regardless. And now let's just go over to my actual February TBR and the cards that I pulled. As you know, I will be using the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck by Grace Duong. It's my favorite deck, and I use it every single month, so you've probably seen it before. And here are the deck of cards that I am just going to shuffle for a little bit. Okay, so let's find out what the first card for our February TBR is. I like to divide this in 3 parts, and then I divide this in half one more time, and we'll see what the card on top is. It's the King of Cups. So for the first card that I pulled was a terrible card. It was the King of Cups, and any king of any suit means to read a book that intimidates me, which obviously isn't great because it intimidates me for a reason. But for this card, I actually picked Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which is the 2nd book in this Violent Delights duology. Now, I didn't absolutely love this Violent Delights. I thought I had some gripes with it, but it was still pretty interesting. And since this is a duology, I do have a lot of interest in finishing it. The ratings have been like so high for this book. People have been raving about it. They've been saying that it's so much better than the first one, that Miss Chloe Gong really pulled it together for this finale. And I do trust her completely. I support Miss Chloe Gong in all of her endeavors. I am so proud of her as such a young author that's already achieved so much. And I'm excited for this book, but I'm also terrified of reading it because I'm not sure if I should have high or low expectations since I didn't absolutely love the first one. Like, I don't know where I stand with this, but I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping that I love it. I'm hoping that it's a 5-star, but I'm really not sure. And so it is a book that terrifies me, and I am using it for this card. So our first card is here. It was the King of Cups, which is a card that I was a bit terrified about getting. I'm not gonna lie, but there's not much I can do. So let's shuffle again to see what the second card is. Okay, let's find out our second card for this TBR. Oh. And our second card is the Princess of Pentacles. Then the second card that we pulled, let's talk about the Princess of Pentacles. I didn't really want this card because this means to read a new release. And I wasn't really vibing with that because I'm trying to get backlist, and all the books I had planned to read this month, none of them were new releases. But you know what? I'm choosing 2021 reads, like books that came out in 2021 as new releases, because it's like the first month of 2022. And it counts. And so for this card, I'm going to pick a really weird book that just the synopsis really intrigues me, but I don't know how to explain it to you. And that is Matrix by Lauren Groff. This book came out in September of 2021, so it's still technically a new release in my opinion. And this book, it's about a French girl, a French teenager. I think it's historical fiction because it's in the 17th century, 18th century France. I'm not sure. But she goes to this convent and some weird stuff happens with nuns. Do they time travel? Do they go into another dimension, and that's why it's called The Matrix? I don't know. I've just heard that it's a really weird book, but that the writing is very fun and fresh, and it just intrigues me. Like, I just want to know what the hell is happening with these nuns. Why is it called Matrix? Why is it so weird? I want to find out. So we've gotten 2 court cards already, which is a bit strange. I don't think that's ever happened before. But let's shuffle and find out what the third card will be. I love you. Okay, so what will our third card be for this month? Let's find out. And our third card is the Judgment card. Then I pulled the Judgment card. Now, the Judgment card is to read someone else's recommendation and to judge it, clearly. And for this one, I'm not going to say who recommended it to me because it is for a secret reading vlog, like a secret TBR type of video. So I'm not going to be saying whose recommendation this is. But I will be reading Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, do I like Miss Taylor Jenkins Reid? I did like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by her, but it's the only book that I've read so far. I did like it. It was a 4-star read. I haven't read anything else. So will she be, for me, like a one-hit wonder? I'm not sure. But this book, it doesn't even matter like who recommended it book, because it's been raved about so much in the past year. Everybody's obsessed with this book. I have seen some mixed reviews, but most of the people are just screaming, crying, throwing up for it. So I want to be part of the hype. I want to try it out. I want to see if I enjoy her writing still and try other books by her. And I think that this is the way to go, but I'm not going to say who recommended it to me. You can try and guess in the comments, but I don't think that you will guess who it is actually. Let's shuffle once more. What will our fourth card be? I have no idea. I honestly have no expectations, really. I don't know what I actually would want to happen. But let's find out together. Our fourth card is the Ace of Wands. Now, for the card that destroyed my month, the Ace of Wands, I simply cannot tell you how much I hated pulling this card. I saw life rush before my eyes. Like I watched it all tumble apart when this card came out, because any ace means starting a new series, and I do not want to start a new series. I don't want to start a new series this month. I don't want to start a new series in the next months, but I have to, and I'm not okay with that. And I think that this card absolutely ruined my month, and I'm actually just like not even sure what series I want to start, because I don't want to start any series this month. I really don't. Let's talk about options from my own physical TBR. I have Ray Bear by Journey Fueku. This is a part of a duology. I'm not sure what the duology's name is, so I'm just going to call it the Ray Bear duology, because I really just don't remember. And this book has been on my TBR since last year. I've bought it. I haven't read it. I don't know why. So this is definitely an option. But the second one is also an option that's been on my TBR for a long time. I don't feel like I'll choose this book, but we'll just have to see. And that is King of Scars by Miss Lee Bardugo. I haven't been in the mood for fantasy, so the fact that these two are fantasy, I'm trying to see if I have other books, but I don't. These are the only two options that I own physically, and I should be getting through them, because I do want to get through my physical TBR, but I haven't been in the mood for fantasy, so I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments which one you think would be better for me to start. They are both duologies. This has the second book out, which is Rule of Wolves, and this has the second book out, which is Lightbearer. No, that's not it. I'll put the cover somewhere, but they're both duologies, so it's not like a huge series. But let me know which one you think that I should start, because I really just have no idea. We've gotten 4 very interesting cards. I am not going to lie. These two terrify me to no end. But we'll just have to move forward and find out what would hopefully be our last card of this month's TBR. Let's find out together what the last card for this month's TBR is. And it is the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, so we've gotten 3 court cards. And our last card for this month was the Queen of Pentacles. And now, the Queen of Pentacles is also someone's recommendation, but it's specifically a booktuber's recommendation. So we've gotten 2 very similar cards in this month's tarot, which not my fault. But for this one, I'm also not going to say who the booktuber is, because it's also for another secret TBR. And I think that you can't guess what it is. But I'm going to be reading Writers and Lovers by Layla King, because a booktuber that I'm doing a secret TBR video for really loved this book, and a lot of other people have loved this book, and it's been on my TBR since the end of 2020, I think. And I think it's time that I finally get to it. I think it's a contemporary about this woman that's navigating life and relationships and career after her mother dies, but I'm really not sure. I might just be making it all up. I really don't know. But I am going to attempt to read Writers and Lovers by Layla King this month. Okay, so why don't we do just a quick little recap of what I'll be reading this month. From not on my TBR, I'm going to be rereading Butter Honey Pig Bread by Francesca Chiuazzi for the 20-something book club hosted by Mafalda and Kasey. Then I'm going to be buddy reading A Reaper at the Gates by Sabbath Here with Tere from the Garden of Tere, and also The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Marina Garcia with Jess from over at Verity Books. Then for this specific TBR, I'm going to be reading Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, Matrix by Lauren Groff, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, either King of Scars or Raybearer, and then Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Now, this is an 8-book TBR, and it's not even half of what I'm attempting to read in February. So if you do want to wish me the best of luck, you can, you should. I would appreciate it because this month's reading plans are just, they're too overwhelming for me to deal with. I am stressed, I am nervous, I am so overwhelmed. But we'll just have to see how it goes because I actually did have a great reading month in January, and I'm hoping that the luck strike will continue into February. Let's hope for the best. That's all I gotta say. Let me know what is the book that you're most excited to read in February, and don't forget to check out my Google Docs that I'll always leave in the description below if you want to try and do this TBR game for yourself. There are a lot of sets of prompts and rules, and if you have a tarot deck and want to use it from the videos, don't forget to check out the Google Docs and use my prompts or my rules if you want to try. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope you have a nice day, and always remember that life is worth reading.